Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Vanguard video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my settings. I did change a lot because I wanted to prioritize FPS. So if you are looking towards this video and just trying to figure out what are the best settings for PC, these are the settings I currently use. I've been enjoying them. I might tweak some stuff here and there just because it is the PC beta and it just came out probably a couple hours ago whenever this video comes out. But I tweaked it to my personal preferences, and hopefully you guys will probably enjoy these as well. But a note to just remember, Nvidia isn't working properly yet, because if you guys do like Alt Z for example and you want to use a game filter, which I usually use, I can't yet because it's not supported. So whenever the game comes out, hopefully that will fix the whole thing and we'll be able to actually use that. So we can use some settings here and there, but let's go over my settings. So keyboard and mouse settings I don't use, so we're just gonna ignore all these settings. If you're a keyboard and mouse player, I don't have anything for you, I guess, for this part, but it's mainly for the graphics, the interface, and the controller settings. So I play on full screen borderless. I personally do that because I can just easily switch between both of my monitors. But whenever I do play and I have nothing else that I have planned, I do switch to full screen, but that is just up to your personal preference. But whenever I'm recording and stuff like that, I do use full screen borderless. My monitor, I have an LG Ultra Gear monitor. For some reason it's stuck at 143. I will fix that eventually. It's supposed to be 144. I know a lot of people will use the 240 hertz monitors now, but I still like my 144 right now, so stick with that. Vsync, turn it off just because of some input lag and stuff like that. I know some people have it on currently, but I highly recommend that you turn it off. It'll fix a lot of stuff. Frame rate, I use custom. I know some people just leave it on unlimited, but I think custom is just better. And usually what I do is I have my gameplay, just because I reset my thing, I usually have it maxed out. But when it comes to menu and minimize, I leave it at 60 or 30. I don't want to mess with that, but when it comes to gameplay, I want to prioritize my FPS. And it's good for me because recording and stuff like that, so yeah. Nvidia Reflex, low latency, I have it personally enabled, but if you are having some issues with your PC and you think that you're having some issues, probably disable this. But for me, I usually have this on enable or enable boost, but at the moment I'm testing out enable and I actually been enjoying enable. But whenever I test out enable boost, I'll give you guys my opinion, but right now I leave it at enable. My display resolution, it's locked at 1080, which is perfect for me. Brightness, I didn't really mess with. I leave it at 50. If you can't see as much targets, I guess you can definitely change that. Display gamma, leave it at 2.2. Focus mode, I have it turned off. I think it was initially on for me, but I had it off. And then just focus mode opacity doesn't matter. I currently have GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, so that's my display adapter. Shaders are just gonna happen, and then on-demand texture streaming, this is just up to you. I would highly turn it off. I don't know why it's on right now, but on-demand texture streaming, you don't want to have it on because it will download textures while you are playing the game and it might cause some lag and stuff like that. So instead, I would personally have it off. I don't know why it was on. We'll apply those. Quality settings, you can obviously choose between these, but I use my own custom settings. So if you want to just use one of these, you're more than welcome to. Obviously, if you want to just go lowest and you just want to prioritize VRAM, go for it. But I have a mix between both. So we'll start off with the render resolution and then slowly make our way down. Render resolution, leave it at 100, and that's just how I have had it on Modern Warfare as well. Whenever I play Warzone, I leave it at 100. I don't mess with it. My VRAM usage, I leave it at 90 because that's just how it is. And then this is when it comes to just a lot of personal preference stuff. So texture resolution I have on low, and this is when you can just mess with, but if you pay attention to the VRAM goes really high. So I would either leave it on low or very low. I did it on low just so I can, whenever I record, it looks a little bit better. But if I'm just going to be prioritizing just recording and don't really care about my RAM, then I'll obviously change all these settings to high settings, and just to make the game a little bit more better, just for recording sense. But if I am streaming and just want to prioritize just frames, I would have it on low or lowest, 100% lowest. Texture filter, low, 100%. Particle quality, this doesn't really mess with your VRAM, but I really just, since I've had it on Modern Warfare on low, it's just a simple thing that I have on low just from personal preference. Same thing with particle resolution. they have as two separate things this time, so I would put that on low. But like I said, you can definitely higher this up if you want, but it's not going to affect your VRAM, but it's just personal preference. Particle sprays, I usually have this on, but I've been testing it here and there. I personally like it with on, just so I kind of can see where bullets are coming from and just how it looks in game. But that is just your personal preference. I would, if you are prioritizing FPS, turn it off. Tessellation, turn it off. Level of detail, this is where it comes to my personal preference again. I have it on high, but these settings don't really mess with the VRAM. So if you are just wanting to put these on high, go for it. But I know some people have these on low. I've seen a couple streamers have these on like low, but this really just comes down to your personal preference. This is one of those things where I have these prioritized for my recording sense, so I have these on high. But if you want to just go for it and try low, you're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to be changing these to low at all. Shadow map resolution, put that on low. Then they added sun shadows, cast shadows. They added so many different types of quality shadows. Don't know why, but it's just for the experience. Usually these were condensed into like one single thing that you just change, but instead they like compiled it into different things, which I guess is good for just aesthetic wise. They are prioritizing that. So shadow map resolution, I have that on low. Cast shadows, I have it on medium instead of low. You can definitely change this to low for not VRAM. If you don't want it to affect it, definitely change it to low, but I have it on medium. Cache spot shadows I have off, so the spot size doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anything because I have this off. Sun shadows I have them as off as well, so it's not going to affect the quality either because I have it off. Particle lighting, I definitely would put that on low, but like I said, it comes down to personal preference, but I have it on low. Ambient occlusion, I had just left it on static objects. You can definitely turn this off. It just really comes down to your personal preference, but I have it on static objects. GTAL, I have it on high because the effect on VRAM is on low, so just left it on high. Screen sprays reflection, put it on low. You can definitely turn it off, but I don't see an issue with it personally whenever I'm playing the game, so I left it on low. Anti-aliasing, you can't turn it off yet, which is kind of weird. I really want to turn this off because I usually have it off on Modern Warfare / Warzone, so hopefully we see anti-aliasing being able to turn off whenever we actually get to play the game. Filmic strength, this is just amount of blurring. This really comes down to you. I just left it as 100, but I might change it all the way back to 0 because it actually messes with me a little bit. So yeah, that's when it comes to quality. So now let's go to the gameplay part. Gameplay, color customization, I don't mess with this. I tried it a little bit on my first game. I tried using I think it was this one, but it just looked weird. The game just looked like if it was gray, so I might try something a little bit different and just mess with it. Field of view 100% I would use on 120. It just 120 FOV is just so amazing. If you're stuck on like Xbox or PlayStation, use whatever highest FOV you can, because I know that they added an FOV slider, but the game just looks terrible on consoles right now. But for PC, 100% 120 FOV always. Camera movement, put this on 50 because if you put it on 100%, your game's gonna look really shaky, and I know a lot of people don't want that, so 100% put this on 50%. And then this setting should be for most people, even if you're on console. Turn these all off because the game looks terrible when you have it on. You can see, I mean, they're good for thumbnails, so I see a lot of people just have motion blur just for thumbnail sakes, but whenever you're playing the game, it looks terrible. So definitely turn these off no matter what. My audio, I wouldn't really mess with it. I think the only thing that you guys should mess with at the moment is just turn this to headphones. There isn't really like a boost high, boost low type setting yet, so we're just messing with this. And I'm still trying to mess with my audio settings a little bit more, just because I have new headphones, so I'm trying to adjust it to those audio settings instead of my previous ones. So it's just a learning curve for me. And I think that's basically it. I didn't really mess with anything else other than show my FPS, show my server latency. That's just my personal preference, so whenever I'm playing the game I can see how many frames I'm rocking in the top left, and what is the server latency, so I can see if I'm not lagging or not. And then my control settings, I didn't really change much. I'm still using my 6.6 sensitivity for like ARs and SMGs. used to run like 9.9, like 10.10, like back on the old World War II, back on like Modern Warfare. I just would always rock 9.9. But ever since like Warzone changed a lot of stuff, I slowly just went on slower sensitivity. So personally been using 6.6. ADS multiplier didn't really change. I use tactical, but I have a SCUF controller, so I use the buttons on the back. I don't flip my L1 and R1 because I have certain bumpers that I use from SCUF. Inverted look off. Response curve, I left it on standard. I know some people rock dynamic, but I've always rocked standard. I sometimes changed it just to test some stuff, but I always left it on standard. Control vibration off, even though it doesn't affect because I don't have the control vibration implemented into my controller. And then aim assist on, manual airborne, I would 100% do that. And then grounded manual on, and automatic ground manual off, because you don't want to just automatically do it for you, because it'll mess you up in gunfights. And another thing a lot of people should have on for gameplay sakes, just so you don't mess up your controller, automatic tack sprint is what most people use. It's perfect for slide canceling, and a lot of people just use it right now. It's good just to get better with the movement. This game is going to be a lot of movement based. From what I've seen, not many people can drop shot. I think drop shotting is going to be completely dead, but automatic tack sprint is going to be the vibe. And then sprint cancel reload, I have that on for my personal preference. Mount, I have it on ADS and melee. I haven't really messed with the mounting at all yet. Yeah, so weapon mount, movement, exit, and depleted, I really just didn't switch because I haven't messed with the weapon mounting in this game. Slide behavior, 100% put this on tab. Like, that's not even a question. It'll make your slides better, movement better. The tab has just always been so much more better. I didn't mess with the, I believe, any of these other than the interact and tap to reload. I have tap to interact just because I've had it as a mental thing that I've been using for Warzone. There isn't like the one that they have in Warzone. It's like half and half. You can either prioritize reload or prioritize interact, but it's kind of weird because it's just really situational. I'd rather just have tap to interact. It's just easier for cooking up guns whenever you're playing games, and just whenever you need to reload, just press hold instead of me just tapping it. But this is just personal preference, but I use tap to interact. And then automatic frame behavior, just hold. And then these I didn't really change. These are all just same thing. And then your dead zones, I left it on 0 because it's a new controller, so I don't have like stick drift or anything like that. But these are going to be 100% your opinions. The trigger ones 100% leave on 0, but when it comes to like input delay for your left stick and your right stick, I have mine on 1, but like I said, that's because I don't have stick drift. These are going to be depending on if you have stick drift or not, and you just have to adjust it to the point where if you, depending on what number you put, we don't have stick drift. So you just have to test that out yourself, or if you already have your numbers from Call of Duty Modern Warfare / Warzone, just put those numbers over here and you'll be fine. But don't mess with these. I would put these at 0, because if not, it will mess you up. So leave those at 0. But these 100%, these are up to you. The minimum ones are up to you. Auto move I have off. Door bash I have that on automatic, but I might change that to manual. But for multiplayer sake, I think automatic is fine. And then quick charge detonation, I have that on off, but that's just up to you. But that's basically all the settings I'm rocking right now for the PC beta. I definitely will probably do an updated settings for whenever the Vanguard beta is over, and then it just comes out as the actual game. There's gonna be a lot of settings that they'll probably introduce then for the PC, so those are gonna be interesting and I'm gonna be looking at. But so far I like the game. The game looks sick. I can't wait for Nvidia filters to actually be viable, because I love using the filters for the GeForce experience. I think that the filters over there are amazing, so whenever that comes out, it's gonna be amazing for streaming / recording. And yeah, so that's gonna be it. Leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions regarding the settings, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.